This has been one of the most difficult weeks that I can say that I've experienced. And a lot of it has to do, most of you who know me closely, you know that I'm not a highly emotional person, even though I feel very deeply about things. I don't always know how to express these emotions. And I think I've had every one of them bombarded upon me this week, from joy to anger, happiness to severe sadness. And and then as I'm reading Bereshit and seeing how everything is expressed right here, sometimes I think I'm going crazy. I'm going mad because I see things the way so many people do not. And I have this understanding, and I don't even know how to explain it, but it's almost as if the world is comprised of light and darkness, and it's spiritual light and spiritual darkness. And as it's impossible to know how God views us because we are not God. And, every time I do something that goes against one of God's commandments, and that probably happens every single day of my life, in something that I say and how I treat another individual, I am either adding to the light or the darkness on this planet. And each and every one of us are doing that. And so when the darkness outweighs the light, then God's nature takes over, and he will begin to burn away the darkness, because he is light and cannot live with darkness, even though he created it. And so it's this constant battle in our lives between good and evil, between making the right choices. And God tells us, choose life constantly in the Torah. Choose life. I give to you everything that you need to have life, to have light in your lives. I've given you the commandments. But what do we do instead? We choose our own ways. And, the social media now makes things very difficult for us, because we don't know what's true and what isn't. We're being bombarded with, it's a war of the media. And so we have to almost step back and just allow God to show us what is his truth, and allow the light to shine through us in our lives wherever we go and whoever we see. And we don't always know what that is going to look like. Like often Miriam and I will take long walks. I will meet people, and suddenly we're able to talk about God and what's happening in the Torah and in this world. And hopefully we're spreading the light of God's understanding. A while ago, we met a young woman from Iran, and she called me today. I spoke to her, and she just wanted to meet. And I thought she was calling me because of what's happening in the world, but she wasn't. And yet she wants to meet, and I'm praying that we can be a light to her. She's afraid to even talk about it, because having escaped Iran, she knows what this type of religion has done to her country. But it's not only about religion.
She's not an Iranian. She's Jewish, or she's not Jewish?
She's Iranian. She left.
Yeah, there are Iranian Jews still there.
No, but she's not Jewish.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's not. So it's very hard to express everything that I'm feeling, but I'd like to hear. I know Mauricio is usually the one who speaks, and Miriam. What is your understanding of some of the things that I've spoken about today, Miriam?
First of all, the whole thing about chaos and wholeness, or God's creation. You see I mean, there's so many things that we cannot understand because we're limited. When it says God created darkness and light, I mean, even that, we can't really know what that means. Like God is not a God of chaos. So to say that there was chaos before would be almost like saying God is chaos. So, I mean, I know it's not that. No, I'm saying God created, even you said God created darkness. But what I'm just saying, I don't want to make it a philosophical point. I understand what you're saying, but okay, let me just leave that for a second. But in our lives, we have to constantly choose order over chaos and choose God over chaos.
Right.
And I see, and we've talked about this before, that as we get closer to God, the chaos that is external in our lives, even our own houses, the urge to change that. And I saw that in my life, and there's still a lot of chaos, but I'm also a different sort of person. I like all sorts of things, but it's really shows externally in how, like, as chaotic as my house may seem now, it's worlds ahead of the way I've lived in the past, and it's still changing. But I even see that in little things. Like I was at the store earlier yesterday, and I saw a beautiful sweat type of shirt with Peanuts. Like I love that whole cartoon Peanuts, and it was a Disney thing, very cheap, an original Disney thing, and it was a Christmas sweatshirt, and I just loved it. Not because, anyway, my point being, I had to make a choice. Even in that, I said, do I want people to see the words Christmas on it? And do I want just a little? And I adored that thing, and it was so within my price range. It was $9.99 for something that goes for about $70. And I finally put it back without wanting to be legalistic. I mean, I don't follow anyway. My point being, our choice is in life. Every minute, every day are almost between chaos and darkness. And I had a fight with my sister. I told Peggy about it, about what's happening in Israel now. And we were both screaming. And finally, I had to stop it for myself, my own screaming. I said, I can't talk now. And boom, just got off WhatsApp. And I was even thinking about that. And I was thinking, I just pray for myself and for my sister and for all of us that we're touched. Even what we read every week that says God will basically show us how to follow his commandments. We have to be open to God's voice with us, but we can't even follow the commandments really without first being touched by God. How do you follow the commandments? Because, ever since our major disobedience in the Garden of Eden, the tendency for darkness in us, it's so even attractive in a way. And as we get closer to God, we need to make choices every day. So, anyway, there's more I wanted to say, so I'll stop for now. But thank you, Peggy, for that.
Well, I hope that each of us will take some time to examine our hearts, to go to God, to beg God. I know he's behind everything. He's behind every element of this war. He doesn't cause it, as Rabbi Percy used to say. He doesn't punish us, we punish ourselves. And it's like we're not called to be judges. We don't judge others. But when behavior goes against God, there are consequences. And it's that simple, whether we believe that or not. It's not a matter of belief. It's a matter of reality. It's what he says. Anyway, I think that we can call this time to an end so we can relax and have by Baruch. Let's have a blessed Shabbat. Let's remain in prayer, and really keep the hearts of that God would reach into the hearts of our people in Israel, because it seems that the only time that we will unite is when outside enemies come. Yes, Brian, you wanted to say something?
The NHL don't want to have the pride colors.
The who? Sorry?
The National Hockey League doesn't want the pride colors. They don't want their players wearing the pride colors.
Okay, that's good.
See?
Yeah, that's good. All right. Well, I wish you all then a Shabbat Shalom. If no one has anything else to say, and keep Israel and keep our people, keep our children, it's hard to imagine they could come into our homes and take our own children.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.